that's cool.
And Craig is now recording, so anything you say from now until the end is on record. So watch your P's and Q's, as this is a public recording for all of the members who listen to, if anyone gets that bored. Good evening, folks. I am Gothy Beast, leader of this ragtag Murray band of ne'er-do-wells. It is 9:03 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesday, the 16th of June. The year is 2021. This is the June council meeting for Awaken the North. In attendance, I'm going to go ahead and call roll call. Would I call your name? Say here. Anya, Counselor of Member Affairs.
Yeah, here.
Rebecca, Chancellor of Military Services.
Present.
Carrie, Chancellor of Public Affairs, is not here, correct? Yep, still no Carrie. All right, so Carrie is absent. Chris, Chancellor of Emissary Program, is absent, excused due to real-life work stuff. Russ, Chancellor of the Treasury.
Present. Is that microphone working?
Cal, our hydrating. Yep, we heard you, Russ. Cal,
Here.
hydrating.
Present.
Laurel, our scribe.
I'm here.
And Storm, our Chancellor of Racial Diversity.
Here.
Awesome. In attendance, we also have a couple of chairs. There's Kat, who is the chair of the Merchants Program.
Here.
We have Finn, who is the chair of our TikTok.
Here.
We have Dylan, who is the chair of the the Kindred Affiliation Program.
Present.
There we go. And we have Nikki, who is my assistant.
Also here.
And we have Kat, who is chair of the Merchants. I already said her, though, so we're good. I think that's everyone who's here, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did I miss anybody on it?
Said Storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, cool. I think we're good.
All right, we are good. So, let's just jump right in it. Anya, how's things on your end?
Things are going well. Now that we have kind of assigned people to post on set days, I'm going to double on Sunday, both posting a feature of our members group and Discord, as well as do a members check-in on that day, just in the members only group.
Awesome.
People can share their news, good or bad, if they need a place to vent. It's a closed energetic container so they can scream into the void, and it's all good. As far as membership numbers go, I do have some numbers for you this time. I came prepared.
Yay!
Hey! Okay. For the month of May, 17 applications through the website were approved. We are already up to 11 in the month of June.
Awesome.
In the public group, during the month of May, we made it up to 1,688 total members. 587 of those during the month of May were considered active, meaning they liked, commented, or viewed posts within the group. This is good. We approved 29 requests to join and only declined 9. I consider that a pretty good success rate.
That is.
In the members Facebook group, we increased to 150 total members, which is up a little over 12% versus the end of April. 88 of those were considered active. We approved 18 membership requests and only declined 3, and those 3, to my knowledge, were because they were people that were a little overeager, and they applied to join both Facebook groups at the same time without going through the application process first. So.
Okay.
that's where we're sitting right now.
Awesome sauce.
I think the Discord group is hopping. I've been really pleased with the level and quality of interactions there. People are settling in really well and being really welcoming to the new people, so I am pleased.
Awesomeness. How do you feel we're doing with our greeters in the Discord? Do you think we need more?
I feel like Kat mostly always does it. She does a fantastic job, but
Kat does an amazing job at it. Yes.
yes, she does. But I think we could use one or two more just to kind of fill in a bit. I noticed our other ones aren't quite as on top of it as Kat is, and I'm sure she could use a break sometimes.
I did show Galaxy how to do it this afternoon as well. We had one that popped in while Kat was away, so showed Galaxy how to properly do it too. So she's on board with it as well.
Yes.
But if we get a couple more that are trained in it, that I think would be great. Do you have anyone in mind that you think would be good as a greeter?
That is a very good question.
Think on that.
Well, so Tucker is usually in.
I love Tucker. I'm not quite sure it'd be a good fit as a greeter.
Okay, fair enough.
He came to mind for me as well, just because he is extremely active and generally very supportive.
Yep.
An awesome guy. I think I want to consider some other people for it too. So I'm gonna have to take a look.
Yep. Take a look, think it over, and let us know, and we'll go from there. Anything else that you'd like to report on?
No, that's about it for me. I'm just really pleased with the growth. It's enough where we are seeing steady growth, but without it being so much that it's hard for us to handle, or where people are feeling lost the cracks. I think so. Things are good.
Awesome. Now, on a personal note, brag about your munchkin. What'd you do last weekend?
Oh no. Well, on the upside, my daughter had her regional robotics showcase. Her team did qualify for the semifinals, and then they did end up going to the finals. There's some drama there that I did vent about. So their match in the finals was without her because of some decisions that they made. But up to that point, she drove like a total badass, and I am extremely proud of her, and also very proud of how she handled the tournament and the situation in general. So she's a good kid.
Awesome. We've all been having a blast watching her go from the locals all the way up to nationals. So we're all proud of her as well. So good stuff. Cal,
Yeah.
our beautiful robotic hydrating.
So I'm good.
Good.
Really, my only area of concern has to deal with naming conventions on the Discord site. I wasn't sure how you wanted to keep doing that because for a while it was very strict after the incident, but we've kind of gotten more laxed, and it's more, I think, more where it should be, more kind of relaxed for people.
Right.
Don't necessarily name themselves random things to express themselves, but at the same time, within reason, it's not a big deal.
Right.
So I just want to make sure.
Haven't seen any issues. I'm with you there. I haven't seen any issues that need addressed with it so far. My thought on it is let them name themselves what they want to name themselves. As long as we're able to have the conversation when they join of who are you really, that way we can verify that they are actual members and keep the server secure that way.
Yeah.
Then what they call themselves once they're in, as long as it is socially appropriate, then I'm fine with it.
That's what I figured, and to be fair, it's been pretty good overall. The last time somebody used the F word was in March. And that
Wow.
shows you how busy I've been. People
I've
aren't
been-
even using profanity anymore. Oh, that said, in a channel you're in charge of, you did use the F word more recently. But I don't police that channel.
Right.
I was gonna say I used it earlier today.
I
Yeah.
meant more in the general chat channels. For the most
Right.
part, people have been good, or it's been cleaned up very quickly. Like the
Right.
last time I even saw it on there is, like I said, back in March, and that was, in my opinion, a valid use of the word, given the circumstance.
Sometimes it is needed. So, yep.
Yeah. Plus, we're all adults.
Yep.
As long as someone's screaming at me at 3 a.m.
Right.
That said, there hasn't really been any problems other than the incident that happened earlier this month. That was this month, or was that in the last month? With the member and the divorce and that stuff.
Mm,
Oh
Not
yes.
important.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been resolved, so it's not important to talk about here. But that's
Yep.
been the only major issue.
Right. The other member was removed due to their court exclaimed reasonings for being here. We resolved that issue by removing her, as was her wish, and life has gone on good. So, awesome. Anything else that you'd like to discuss?
No, I mean everything's been pretty great. I mean, we're still small enough in the community where where policing each other isn't really an issue.
Right.
Because most people are adults, and yeah, we get to one off, and that's when I get to, when my greater purpose is served. But yeah, for the most part, we have really great members.
Awesome. Good to hear. Rebecca, Chancellor of Military Services.
So, yeah, another letter down, which was great. He then further asked if I could write him a letter to grow his hair out, which I did not accommodate him with, as I
A letter-
can.
A letter to grow
He
his
wanted-
hair out?
He wanted, in addition to a letter supporting the amendment for the Army, because there is no instruction for the Army as of right now, religious accommodation, facial hair. There's an amendment you can submit a package to have sent up. And he wanted me to see if I could write him one for long hair. And I gracefully said, that is going to be a lot more difficult. I am happy to write you one for a beard, justifying your religious request to grow a beard out. As far as growing your hair out, probably not. So there is that.
Good
As
call.
far as our,
Mm.
as I mean, I'm it, we have a Canadian service member who was able to do that, but that is also the Canadian military, not the United States military. So a little bit different. Our sailor, who I originally wrote a letter for, cannot use his letter because a change of command just happened. So I did touch base with him. And I said, I'm happy to resend it. Just let me know who your new CO is. And that's an easy one to fix, like too easy. So I
Right.
haven't spoken with him recently. I figured maybe he just got busy, because he did reach out. Because I asked him to keep me updated if it got denied, if it got approved. So he did reach out to me personally and explain to me the situation. So I just said, get me your new CO's name and I'm happy to resend it. Not a problem. I have not had any luck finding a Marine Corps instruction for facial hair. Not sure if that would necessarily fall under Navy, because while they are a department of the Navy, they do have their own set of, uniform regulations. I also didn't work very hard on looking any of those up because it's been hell. Life's been a little bit chaotic, especially with school and a final project as of recently. Obviously, as I just mentioned, the Army does not have a current instruction. I believe they are in the process of working on that. But I'm sure, Cal, you can back me up. Rome is certainly not built in a day, let alone a century when it comes to rewriting instructions with the Navy, unless it's written in money or blood. So there's that. I am going to, once my final project is done for school, I'm going to touch base on both the Coast Guard and the Air Force and see if there's anything there for that, and see if I can even just talk to a chaplain on base there and see if they have any resources in regards to that. But those are the only updates I have. No new beard requests, no complaints. Yeah, good to go here.
Okay. Fort Leonard Wood, a replacement for the current. Yeah.
Yeah, did put out a feeler or two, didn't hear back. I know Dylan mentioned something. I don't know where we were with that. Obviously,
Right.
he's had some personal stuff going on. I've had some personal stuff going on. So we've been a little bit redirected as far as I don't want to necessarily say priorities, because I do feel like this is a priority, so I'm not trying to diminish the importance of this.
Right.
I just haven't really gotten an answer back.
Got it.
I don't really want to reach out in the Norse pagan group. You've seen the kind of
Right.
oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry, Beast. Hold on. Sorry about that. Thank you. I am not really crazy about a lot of the people in that group.
Right. No,
I will.
we definitely don't need to outsource to either of the prolific Facebook groups. I don't think that would help out.
No, it's
I
not.
will make some calls in the morning and see
Okay,
what I
and
can
I'll
drum up to help out.
okay, and I will. I'll reach out in the military group on Discord and the military chat in Facebook.
Okay.
I apologize. That's my fault. I dropped the ball. You contacted me several days ago about it, and I didn't follow through. So I'm sorry for that.
You've had a lot of stuff going on. You and Heather having a hell of a time. I fully get it. I'm not blaming you or getting on you or anything like that. Please don't take it that way. You've been doing a lot, and we get it. We understand. Neat thing about us being a council and a group is we can help each other. So don't stress it. We'll get it taken care of.
Please
Groovy?
don't fire me. I have bills to pay.
Tell you what, I love you so much. You can have a raise. I will pay you 50% more for the next month.
God's bless you.
Okay. Speaking of Russ, our Chancellor of the Treasury, can we afford to pay her double for next month?
Yeah, as long as your paying right now is 0.
It is.
Double 0 is awesome.
Yeah, rub
There
it
we
in.
go. Russ, for those new listeners who may not have known, Russ is our new Chancellor of the Treasury. He holds the purse strings for Awake in the North and has been doing an awesome job. I am very glad that he has joined us because I suck at the money side of things. So being able to pass that all off to him has been a true godsend on my end as well. Russ, what you got for us?
Hey, Beach, you mind if I share that spreadsheet I kind of emailed you?
Definitely. Yep.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to share screen, so let me know if this pops up for you folks.
If you click on Russ on the live button, it'll say watch stream, and then you can see his desktop.
Apologize, I do not use Discord screen share too often, ever actually, so if anything goes wacky, it's because I don't know what I'm doing. Or that being said, didn't catch that?
Something already shared because I can't see it.
All right, how about everybody else? Is anyone
Can see
able to
it.
see
Yeah.
Excel? All right.
Yeah,
You just
Well,
you have to
we will
hover
also-
over Russ and then click on watch stream.
Yeah, we'll also share this Excel file in the council chat room, in the text chat room. That way y'all can see it later on too.
bit up there. All right, for the folks that are able to see my screen, this is a download of all the transactions we've got on PayPal, sorry. Back to the beginning, which I want to say is August of last year. So I just pulled everything down, just kind of get a look at what we got going on, and made a few other tabs that'll make the data a little bit more understandable. So first I want to look at the summary table. This is just kind of a quarter by quarter, month by month summary of the financials. So Beast is very, very correct. We make money off of Patreon and the member donations. Patreon actually is going to become, or is now becoming, the lion's share. April Patreon was 189, May it was a little over 200. And member donations, okay, May was a bad month, but usually it's about $50. Give or take a month. For those of you not too familiar with Excel, you're lucky. Excel's a mind suck, a soul drainer. The parentheses represent debits. That's where we paid somebody else. Or sorry, no. The parentheses are, yeah, those are debits. We paid somebody else. No parentheses, the positive number. That's where we got paid. And right now, we are just treading water. From August to the end of May, we are a positive $79. So what that means is we're not really making any money. We're not losing money either. Month to month, we're pretty much breaking even. Some months are a little lower, some are a little higher. We're seeing a little bit of a trend up in Patreon, even though we only had a couple months of it so far. So I tend to think that maybe June, July, August, we may see a little bit more in the black. June for the first few days was looking pretty good. There is a monthly summary tab which just lists the credits and debits by month and by quarter in case folks want to see it. There is a kind of busy graphic that's not too awesome, but it's there in case you all want to look at it. And the other tabs, these are what I was suggesting that we pop on the website for the public to view, for the members to view. This is kind of a sanitized version of our expenses and income. So I stripped out all the personal names. I did leave business names in here, which in most cases I don't think matters. There is one particular vendor that's actually a name, Brian LaValle, or iValley.
Brian LaValle is the merchant who we had been getting the Molniers for the pocket altars.
All right. Is he cool with his name being in as a vendor, or should we clean that up a little bit?
As far as I know, he is. That's how I had advertised him. Due to life changes, we will no longer be getting Molnir from him in the future. He had some personal life changes and is no longer going to be forging for the foreseeable future. So I need to find a different source for the Molnir anyhow. But he doesn't have a business name per se. That's why it comes up as Brian LaValle.
Gotcha. All right, well, moving on from that, there's a tab for each month starting in, if I could label correct, that's supposed to say May, not March. May through January, I didn't do 2010 or 2020, I mean, but we do have these 5 months, and I can create ones for 2020 as well. I didn't because it didn't look like there was much happening, and I kind of thought that just one calendar year would be good for most folks. Transaction organized by date. There is the gross amount of transaction. If PayPal tacked on a fee, whatever that is. The net, which is just the gross plus PayPal's fee. And then it's kind of the current balance. So this is what we have in PayPal. At each time the transaction was credit or debit, who did it. And again, for personal folks, I just changed it out to ATN member, the donations and the purchases. And I yanked out, for the notes, I added my best guess as to what the transaction was looking at the data, and then concatenated it with whatever was already in there as notes. So some of these have some pretty detailed information, like the swag purchase here. Some don't, some just say miscellaneous. I would suggest that we, going forward, for transactions of greater than maybe 100 for the time being, we may want to put a little more detail in here. Like this one's 126. We have quite a bit. Depending on how active our financials get, we may want to change that to like a 500, even a 1K threshold, just so you don't go nuts with everything.
Sure.
And we do have one of those for each one of the months. Same logic each time, and same columns be displayed: date, gross, PayPal fee, net balance, and a little bit of notes about the transaction. This
Awesome.
will give our members a pretty clear view of what we're spending money on, what we're making money on, and how much money we do or do not have at any one given time.
What is our current balance in PayPal?
Without it, I'd have to look up. I haven't checked for a couple of days. As of the end of May, it was 78.89. After the first 5 or 6 days in June, it bumped up to 300.
Okay. I know
And
today.
I can
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say I can incorporate the month to date for June, though I suggest for the postings for the members, we do keep it at just month-end reporting. Maybe
Right.
try and upload
Right.
something at the 5th business day of the following month.
Yep. No, that's perfectly fine. Right now, our balance is 306.67. That is after
Good.
the purchase I did today for the $102.50 for the shipping of the bloat in a box and the loot boxes that went out today. The young lady at the post office laughed and said, "You look like Santa Claus," because I had all the boxes in a large sack over my back when I took them in. So,
And
yeah.
you
And
have a
you have a white
beard.
beard.
What's that?
A beard.
Yep.
Beastie Claus.
Yep.
No, I will probably regret saying it, but honestly, Beast, you always remind me of the Lorax.
I am the
Okay.
Lorax, and I speak for the trees. And for some reason, they're speaking Vietnamese.
Thank God somebody said it because I was gonna.
Okay. Russ, thank you very, very much. That's very detailed reporting. Anything else that you'd like to discuss?
The only thing I was going to suggest is, so I listened to the last few of the accounts recordings. I think the last one, a few folks were tossing out some ideas of like charities that want to support, or possibly donating a certain percentage of sales from a given product, like the Red and Blue 8 shirts or something like that. So honestly, you're not quite there yet, just because from month to month, we're barely treading water. I'm going to guess you probably will be there in the coming months as Patreon revenue kind of bumps up a little bit.
Right.
And if folks wanted to like put a budget and target maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 events or whatever folks would like, it might be a good thing to throw on the table now, so we can kind of line out a budget and try and track toward it as far as savings goes.
Right. You'll see in that listing, last month, I don't think I did for last month. I think it was the month before. There are purchases from allgowithyou.org. Those are the donations. It's not actually a purchase. It's a donation from us to them for the buttons, for the support of the trans folks using the restroom, that whole project. There are a couple, I noticed it showed up as purchases, but those are donations that we did for them. Because to donate, what we do is they have you go through and you purchase buttons, and then they give the buttons off to somebody else. So it shows up as a purchase, but it's technically a donation to them. We're pre-buying buttons for other people. The others that we had discussed, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the women's shelter up in Cleveland, Chicago, the one that Carrie had mentioned. I haven't done the donations to them yet. That's on my list of to-dos. I need to sit down and figure out what the total are for them to get those sent off here too. The donations have been made in the past. That's part of why the profit is showing so low.
I'll try and track those down and correctly notate them as charitable donations.
Sure. I'll go through it and mark out the ones that were, and then update that. I'm sorry. That was my shortcoming. I didn't have those marked down correctly on the sheet when you sent it to me, but we can get that rectified. That's not a problem.
Sounds like a plan. We'll go and hold off on uploading until we get those identified, and then pop it
Awesome.
up in the chat section.
Okay. Do you know how to upload files in Discord?
Not yet. I will look into it though. I can't imagine it's too crazy hard, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
We have a room in the council rooms called Council Discussion. In fact, I will tag you in it real quick here.
I see it there.
Yep. If you're on a computer, bottom left-hand corner, there's a plus within a circle where you're typing your stuff. If you click on that, it'll give you the option to upload the file. Just upload that Excel file into that chat room. Only council members can see this chat room, so it'll be fine there. And then everyone on the council can look it over and see what we're talking about.
Gotcha.
It'll
Will
be
do.
great. Awesome. All right. Another new friend, Storm, our Chancellor of Racial Diversity.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just dealing with the gremlin.
Yeah, that happens. So,
Yeah.
what have you to report for us?
Well, I think we already said it, but we not in this particular meeting, but we do have Juneteenth. As you may or may not have heard, it has been designated as an actual federal holiday.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
Passed the Senate. I didn't see it in the House.
Yeah, they passed it from what I understand.
Right.
Sweet. About damn time. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That's
for the
the,
listeners who don't know what Juneteenth is, what is this Saturday, Juneteenth?
So, what we do learn in school is that the Emancipation Proclamation effectively ended slavery. That's not entirely true. It ended slavery for the states that were still part of the Union. Did not end slavery for places like Texas and Louisiana. Juneteenth occurred when a general from the Union Army arrived in Galveston and informed people that the slaves were actually free. The Emancipation Proclamation was a thing. The slaves had obviously already heard about this. There's a lot of backstory to it. Essentially, a lot of people who were really close to the Unions knew they were going to get taken over by the Union troops. They sent something to the tune of 150,000 slaves down south in order to prevent them from being freed. So those enslaved people brought the news of the emancipation with them. So the enslaved people already kind of knew it was a thing, but obviously it wasn't really effective in the South. Once the Civil War was ended, in 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, those slaves actually were granted their freedom, and that's what Juneteenth is. It is an official state holiday it was an official state holiday in about 14 different states up until it was passed as a federal holiday recently.
So it took 2.5 years for people to realize that the proclamation had gone out.
For them to actually respect it, yes.
Well, the war wasn't over when the proclamation went out.
Right. It was just there's a lot of story there.
Right. It took so the Emancipation Proclamation occurred before the end of the Civil War.
Mhm.
Juneteenth is about 2 months after the end of the Civil War because of how long it took for troops to travel.
Mm-hmm. And it took 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed for it to be a thing. But yeah. If
they had just had an awesome TikToker like we do, then everyone would have known immediately. Right, Finn?
Sure, why not?
All right, so we have Juneteenth coming up. We just got done with Loving Day, which was the anniversary of Loving versus Virginia,
Mhm.
or was it Virginia, North
Yeah.
Carolina?
No,
Virginia.
Virginia. Mhm.
Yep. In 1964, where they finally legalized interracial marriage, which was cool. So we just celebrated that. Juneteenth is coming up. Are there any other special events for our BIPOC community coming up this month?
So there is a lot of information that I'm still sifting through, because there's not, some people in the BIPOC community might celebrate something, but not everybody does. So it's
Got it.
just trying to sift through what would be mostly for everybody.
Cool.
Right now, I don't have anything in particular. I'm still looking
Awesome.
and learning myself.
Okay, cool. Well, if you find out anything else for this month, just keep me updated and we'll make the Facebook banners and stuff and go from there, figuring out what we can do to help support.
Will do.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to discuss?
No, not at the moment.
Alrighty, we're glad to have you on. Move on to Kat, our chair of the merchant program. Kit Kat, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
What's going on here? I can't remember. What was the exact date of our last meeting again?
Last month? I don't remember.
Was it around? Okay. Well, anyways, so I'll just do this. Since May 23rd, we have gotten a total of 4 new merchants. We've got Lady Galaxy's live art experience, Happy Hollywood Crafts, the Runic Emporium, and then Amanda Willis, who does the custom portraits. She's actually our newest member as of yesterday. We also started the new Wednesday spotlights for one of our merchants per week. And I did it today for Amanda since she was our newest one. And so I got her out there. And then right now, you also have me working on getting a letter out for our merchants to see if they will donate or possibly do a reduced price for one of their products to put into our quarterly loot boxes, which I'm actually almost done with that letter and can send to you tonight.
Sweet. And when is our next loot box?
It'll be in September. So what you were letting me know is that we do have to have the items that we're putting in the loot box to you by the beginning of September.
Awesome.
So I'm working on that. Also, I have been trying to get more merchants and more people. I've blasted it all over, like the Boise pagan community. I even reached out to my own kindred and even my friends, and everywhere I could, I blasted that people need to come join us and join our merchants.
Sweet. And for our lovely listeners, what is the monthly cost of being an affiliated merchant with Awaken the North?
It's free.
Cool, huh?
All you have to do is be a member first, and then you can fill out the merchant application. And of course, there's no charge for being a member either.
Great. Okay. Has anyone heard anything from Sarah?
Not for a bit.
Unfortunately, Sarah's not here, so. All right. I just tagged her in the Facebook. We'll see if maybe she can pop in here and let us know from her side what's up with her. Moving on after that, we have Finn at TikTok. I guess we can give you time to talk to. Finn, my darling, you have to take yourself off mute. There you go.
Want me to talk, I can. If not, I didn't be silent like that. They have been. No, but TikTok is going really well. We've started the Hobble Mall series. And obviously, I shared screenshots in our Facebook chat. Those videos are doing really well. Right now, we're dealing with an influx of a group called Sons of Odin, which is a spin-off of Soldiers of Odin out of Finland. So if you guys see any of those, let me know immediately so we can remove them.
Finn's been doing an awesome job removing them from the TikTok. They've been telling me throughout the day, today and yesterday, of all the different ones. These people are like fleas. They keep popping up everywhere. But Finn's been doing an awesome job smacking them back down when they do. So that's a good thing.
You know, axes make a really great bug spray.
This group is very easy to spot. I've got some screenshots that I'll share with you guys here later. They use the same cover videos and the same dog whistles that all Volkish groups have been using. But they're doing it in the guise of doing community service now too. So they're trying to better their image while still being white supremacists, basically.
Right.
Look, not all white supremacists are bad. We pick up garbage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
Pick yourself up, sweetheart.
Awesome. And your daily Havamal that you're doing are amazing. I've been watching them myself. You're doing an excellent job. I'm really, I know I say this every meeting we have, but it's true and I mean it, so I say it again. I'm really impressed and proud of you for all the work you've done with the TikTok and the amazing strides that it's made. What are we at to follower-wise now?
Last count, we were up to 3,864.
That's just astounding. That's awesome.
And a couple hundred of those have just been since we started the Havamal series. Today, I'll have to dive in and look at the analytics, but today I think we've picked up another 40 or 50.
Nice. Awesome.
The
Hey,
Havamal
Finn.
number 4 is probably, I think, up to about 5,000 views now, just
Nice.
on that one alone.
Hey, Finn, is there any way you can like name drop my channel and get me some more followers? Because I was looking at your personal page the other day, and you got a couple. Maybe just send some of those my way.
I can do my best.
Yeah.
I'll throw some names out there.
I mean, I know I'm not as pretty as you are, but
How much are you gonna pay him to name drop?
I've got 2 quarters and some pocket lint.
Anything else you'd like to report on, Finn?
I think I am good.
Awesome. You have a little bit of bragging right real quick too, because one of your little gremlins has been doing something cool, right?
Which one?
Weren't you just traveling because of a softball or baseball?
Jackson, he doesn't do travel ball. My middle daughter, she's our competitive cheerleader. And that's the one we do all the traveling with. They went out the last competition and the whole gym just owned it out there in South Carolina. They came away with banners, rings, money, new uniforms, shirts, backpacks. They cleaned house. The entire gym did, from our little ones all the way to.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Dylan. Share
Yo.
your Kindred affiliation program.
So, unfortunately, we haven't had any new applications for unaffiliated Kindred come in here recently. I kind of blame myself in part because I've had some, as everyone knows, I've had personal stuff going on, especially really heavy in the past couple of weeks. But I will be getting back on top of making my weekly posts for the KAP program. As far as the ones that we have already, I spoke to the Felsons. via email, and they said that they were working on getting their dues to you, and they were in contact with you, Beast, over their arm ring, cloth bowl, and horn.
Yep.
And then as far as the Dragons clan goes, I'm sure you're already working with Kat on her kindred items, and I know that Kat paid the dues when she first set up the kindred. Other than that, I know my kindred, we're having the Midsummer Sumble, not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm wanting to get some good video stuff and send that over to Finn for TikTok. Other than that, it's, I mean, kind of going as good as it can go with only 3. So,
Wait a minute, more work for me?
A little bit.
Okay.
not much, just some like video clips for you to pick stuff out of and throw on the Awaken the North page.
Awesome. Works for me.
I know this morning when the loot and the bloat boxes went out, the Houtwell and the arm ring for Western Dragons is in that box. So they'll be getting all of it together at once here within the next couple of days. And Kat will be happy there. I've been talking with several of their members. There are a couple that are going to be going through the Gothar training program once I have that finished up. But it should all be set to go.
Right, and as far as the Felsen Kindred goes, I know they're pretty small right now. Which, I mean, me personally, I kind of think small Kindred's the way to go after this past almost year with Bjorn. You know, the bigger the Kindred is, you know, the bigger you make it quickly, the more flake outs you're going to have. I feel like Yule was a good example of that. We had about 15 people saying that they'd be willing to chip in for a Yule gathering, and then whenever it came time to chip in, we had one person from St. Louis send $5. So,
Right.
As far as the size goes, I don't think size matters when it comes to kindreds, but I did have a question as far as their arm rings and stuff goes. Do you have any plans to shoot those out, or did you already send those out?
For Felson's, not yet. Once they pay their dues, then I will.
Okay, all right. I'll go ahead and shoot an email over tomorrow and touch base and see where they're at with dues.
Sure. They actually have 2 more prospective members that I've sent to them from a different group I'm in that are there in their area. So hopefully their numbers will grow a little bit here soon with some good folks, and it'll be great. Kat's already got her oath ring and Hout Bowl on the way to her. You've already got your oath ring. You already got a Hout Bowl. I didn't give you a Hout Bowl, did I?
No, you didn't. I don't have one for the Kindred. I've got one for my at-home altar, but I can bounce that back and forth wherever we need to.
I've got. Oh, that's right. The reason I didn't give you one is because I'm the Gothi for the Kindred, and I've got the Hout Bowl. So yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's why. So we're good. All right, that leaves Nikki or Galaxy, my assistant. Do you know of anything I have forgotten, dear?
I don't have anything on the list tonight.
Awesome. All right. As for my part, let's see. There's been a lot of stuff going on. The Kindred or the Gothar training program is about halfway done at this point. We've been working hard on it. Galaxy's been a huge help with that. Also have had help from Kat, who is working on the general pagan holidays, not the heathen holidays. Also have had help from Fisk, who is not in this meeting because they're not chancellor or chair. But Fisk is helping out with some bits of the training program as well. For those of you who know him, Joshua Roper with the Three Bitches Kindred down in Tennessee is currently working on a test out program for us. So for those who already have their ordinations through other organizations or who already know their stuff well enough, they will have the option of testing out of the Gothar training program to be able to be ordained through us once they prove that they actually know their stuff. Unfortunately, there are some other groups, we'll be polite, who hand out Gothar ordinations like they're candy because you happen to be friends with the guy who started the group. So he will just hand you an ordination because he feels like it. The Awaken the North organization. What's that?
That he didn't give me one.
Well, we won't discuss that right now. The Awaken the North ordination is going to be a little bit more serious. It's going to have more weight to it. You're going to have to prove that you know your stuff to be able to be ordained through us, either through successfully passing the ordination test or by going through the Gothar training program. The Gothar training program through Awaken the North is not going to be a simple watch these slideshows made by a dude that had a giant hard on for Odin and be done in a weekend. It's going to be actual study, learn your stuff, and be overloaded with information. It's been great fun working on that. As for the Pocket Havamals and Pocket Altars, those are going great. We've sent out, 4 more this last month, I believe, to active duty military overseas, which has been amazing. We're posting, let's see, right now I'm on chapter 22 or 23 of the Saga of Burnt Owl in our members group in our Discord. I've been getting some great feedback from that. Excuse me. Galaxy has taken over posting the daily runes for us. The original poster needed a brief vacation due to school and life. So Galaxy stepped up and has been doing an awesome job posting the daily runes for us in the Discord channel, which has been cool. Other than that, I've been working on all the various projects that I work on and getting stuff done. The biggest focus lately has been the loot box and the Blotna box. Thankfully, I was able to get those all shipped off this morning, as I said earlier, so it is good. At this point, we'll open the floor to any general questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts, anything of the sort. Anyone have anything else to say?
How
I had
difficult
a
would it be to also post the daily runes in the members group on Facebook to generate more interaction there, since they're not all in the Discord?
Do that.
We could do that. Or do we want to maybe post in the members group on Facebook saying, hey, we're doing this in Discord, another reason for you to join, come have fun. And use it as an incentive for folks to join the Discord.
Do that too.
I am finding in my own personal experience, and y'all chime in on this and let me know what your thoughts are. I am finding that the Discord has quickly become an amazing spot for folks to communicate, hang out, build that community, build that frith that we're looking for. Whereas the Facebook doesn't seem so much as a, what's the word I'm looking for? The Discord is for hanging out and making friends, where the Facebook seems to be more of general knowledge. Does that make sense?
And that's
Yeah.
so. I mean, a lot of that is due to the limitations of the platform.
Right.
Discord tends to flow a lot more naturally because it's just like one giant ongoing conversation.
Right.
So I would like to figure out some ways to drum up more interaction in the Facebook groups as well, and figure out more things to post and such.
I've been personally having some issue with getting interaction going on Facebook, and I think it's just because in general, Facebook's kind of on its way out. You know, people are getting tired of Mark Zuckerberg with the, needless account banning and whatnot. So, I mean, I know a lot of the members of my Facebook group over for the Kindred don't use Facebook all the time because of stuff like that.
Right.
And for a time, it almost seemed like whether purposefully or not, pagan Facebook users seemed like they were being particularly targeted just with the types of posts, like immediately getting flagged for no good reason.
Well, and I mean, look at what happened with the elections. Anybody who posted something that Zuck didn't agree with, they got shut up for a while. So
Yeah.
So we discussed last couple days in Facebook, ironically, working out the new schedule for daily posts to where each chancellor and chair has a day of cool things that they're going to post. Part of that is hopefully to drum up more interaction, more comments, more just folks doing stuff on the Facebook, as well as getting out information for things that we do that folks don't know about. So hopefully that will turn around with the new schedule that we have put out there as well. Anybody else have any other questions? Finn, were you saying you had a question earlier?
Yeah, I was gonna ask something on the Gothar training. Are you gonna kind of develop those into where, for some of us that are more neurodivergent, that learn more with audio versus having to read a whole bunch of stuff?
I hadn't, but I can definitely look into that.
Okay, because some of us learn better listening and watching versus reading. So I've got one of Neil Price's books, and it's so drawn out because I have to read everything. And this happens to be the one that's the textbook.
Sure.
And there's no audio for it right now.
Is there a PDF reader, audio reader that you would recommend?
Right now, really, I'm just using what my Windows offers. That it works. It's just so robotic.
Okay. Honestly, anything that we do in an audio sort is probably going to be simply a electronic reader that reads through, because most of the course is presented in PDF format.
Right.
I can definitely look into that and see what other options we might have, see what's available out there. Galaxy, would you take a note for that for me, please?
Got it already. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll look into that tomorrow and see what options might be out there, because I've never I've never experienced that myself. I learned by reading, so it's not something that was on my radar. But now that it is on my radar, I'll definitely look into it and see what options are out there. Anybody else have questions?
Might be kind of a dirty trick, but if you're looking for a convenient means to have some text read, you could make that part of the Gothar training modules for the first, 100 people who go through or whatnot. You got to read one section aloud.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm going to read this chapter as a class now.
Yeah.
That's not a horrible idea. It's really not.
One
I
at
was
a
one of
time,
those
folks.
students that enjoyed reading as a class. I always hoped that I would get the really big paragraph to read.
Me too. I actually do public speaking for a living.
All right, so we'll definitely have some options to pursue there and look into and see what we can do there. So, anybody else have anything else they want to bring up?
Love you guys.
We love
Yay.
you too, Becca.
I seriously appreciate being here.
Well, you're stuck with us because you're part of the family now. So, yeah.
One of us.
Yeah. Speaking of Storm, there was a gentleman in the Haws, which, for those of you who don't know, Haws, HAWS, Heathens Against White Supremacy. It is another group that I am on the council of, one of many. Had a conversation with a young man this evening who apparently was in a Facebook group called what was it? The Viking Way is a Facebook group where he was a member and apparently is no longer a member due to several of the other members telling him that he was not allowed to be heathen because he's black. And black people are not
Hell
allowed
no.
to be heathen.
Oh
So,
my
yeah.
My favorite
My-
rebuttal against people like that is first, again, obviously I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking, but
Right.
my favorite rebuttal to people like that is, how do you reconcile the biracial people then?
Right. My two favorites are first, look up the Norse goddess Nott. She is one of the few who is actually physically described in the writings and lore, and she is physically described as being black. We have a black goddess. Of course, she can be black and be part of us. The other
Absolutely.
part I told him was to simply ask himself this: are you a heathen? And are you black? The answer to both is yes. So obviously, since you are, you can be. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Apparently that's becoming a new, or not new, but another big thing is for some of these so-called heathen groups that are on Facebook spouting their racist asshat ideology, and that's not something that we stand for here at Awaken the North.
Nope.
Can I just say, one of the things I love about the show Ragnarok on Netflix is that
yes.
they have Freya as being a black girl from Sri Lanka, and I love her to death.
I didn't even know there
Is it
was a
Freya?
show on
She's
Netflix.
actually Hindi. Sri Lanka is in India.
I know, but what I'm saying is she is Awaken as Freya in that show.
Right.
Is she Freya?
I didn't even know there was a Ragnarok show. I'll have to check that
Oh,
out.
you need to go watch it, girl. You need to go
And
watch
I'm
it.
so mad that next season's not out yet.
Really
stay
quick,
away
if
from
we're talking, I know Beast mentioned Hawes. If we're discussing other, open pagan groups, I would like to throw out there that Fisk's Discord is actually pretty awesome, pretty poppin'. It's not Norse pagan restricted. There are some who aren't Norse pagans in there, but it's predominantly Norse pagan.
Fisk is good people. So
it's called Hearth of Weird. It's pretty great. He's been doing a lot to develop the Discord over there. It's starting to look very similar to our Discord because we've got members from our Discord throwing out ideas to him. But generally, it's a pretty awesome place to just sit there and talk.
awesome.
I'll
All
have
right.
to check.
Well,
But yeah, Beast, if
yep.
that
Go
person
ahead.
is still looking, please feel free to send them my way if they have any questions.
Yes, they're filling out an application this evening. So
Fantastic.
it's good. That brings our current actual member number of black folks to 5, I believe. 5 or 6 that I'm aware of. I know there's probably more out there that I'm not aware of at this point, but as far as I'm aware, I believe we have 5 at the moment. So we're growing, word's getting out there. Folks are beginning to learn that we are a safe place for everybody, and hopefully that number will just continue to grow.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, it is now 10:07 p.m. Central Standard Time. So do I have a motion at this point to close this meeting?
I motion to close the meeting.
I second that motion. Second that.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll third it.
There we go. So 10:07 p.m. on June the 16th, 2021, the June council meeting is called to a close. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the bot so that the recording stops.